Yo, what's going on, everybody? Keeping almost in full color. And today we're doing our Father Simulator, God of War Ragnarok review. And to start with, this game is phenomenal. I think it's an amazing game. I definitely cannot say enough about this game, but I'm going to try to say enough in the time that we have together. So, without further ado, let's just jump right into it. Now, the visuals are a thing I'm not really going to talk about too much. The game looks great. Same art style, same art direction. So, we're not really too shocked by what we see on screen. Have things been raised to a new level? Yeah, for sure. The game definitely does look better than its 2018 predecessor. However, it looks better in a way that's expected. It's a good thing, but yet, we're not really blown away or anything like that by the graphical upgrade that we got. I am playing this on the PS5 and just happy to say the game does look better from its 2018 counterpart. From there, we're just actually going to jump right into gameplay. I absolutely love this gameplay. I played it on not the hardest difficulty, but the one right below it, the Give Me No Mercy. And I was a bit worried, as I am with every game, when I start picking a difficulty, because a lot of games, as you get stronger, the ads start to get weaker or feel weaker. There's no more challenge to it as you get stronger. Happy to say this game does not follow that formula. The ads get stronger as you get stronger. However, you have a bunch of tools within your toolkit to exercise strength and flex on any ad that comes your way. We'll start with our skill tree. Our skill tree works as follows. You get skill point, or you get XP. You can then utilize that XP to buy a skill on your skill tree. Once you utilize that skill a certain number of times, you then can enhance that skill. And this is where I feel the blooming of this tree truly begins. See what I did there? Tree, bloom. You then are able to pick what buff you want to add to that skill. This is going to start off with your how I want to play mentality. Like, what is it? How are you going to do things? How do you want to do things? And this, I feel like, is the onset. You use your skills more than anything. So here it is. Here is where you're going to pick out, okay, I want to buff my skill with it. I want to make my skill this. From there, we have armor pieces, and these armor pieces have skills attached to them. And we do have armor sets, just like in the last God of War, or like you may have played in other games, where if you equip a whole set, you get a added bonus. Every piece gives you an added bonus. A whole set will give you more of that added bonus. That still exists here. You can also mix and match. It's all up to you and all up to the gameplay and the game style that you want to have going through this. Again, just furthering customization and making Kratos feel like a character that you're custom making. This is his type of level of combat, or this is the combat I envision Kratos having. You do that right. You do that all through here. You also acquire an amulet, and this amulet has slots where you can slot in buffs to Kratos, and you also get a relic. You can utilize a relic within battle. Now, it does have a cooldown after you utilize it, so be aware of when you're going to use it and how you're going to use it. Your weapons also have slots in which you can equip runes to them, making them more than what they are, or buffing skills out of your skill tree for the weapon itself. Again, we're just going back to customization, how you want to do things. So yes, ads kind of level with you, but at the same time, you have a lot of skills at your disposal, a lot of things at your disposal late game to get the most out of your weapons, or to get the most out of crowd control if that's the type you want to go with, or for one-on-one dueling if you're like, yo, when I just see an ad, I wipe them. I have a highly effective combo that I want to utilize here that helps me just deal with one-on-one situations best. That's amazing. It truly is. I feel like this is just one of the beautiful buds of this tree that is this God of War gameplay. You're introduced to Atreus, and I feel like this is a hint at Atreus maybe become a more permanent character, someone that you utilize even more. But this game, it's slowly ushering Atreus in. You were introduced to him in the first one and got to utilize him in a way you can command him to do things in that first one. now they've opened it up to he's actually a playable character with his own skills and his own things that he does. Atreus is an amazing character, a great change of pace character. You'll go from Kratos, a more up in your face type, to Atreus, who can do the up in your face but really excels with his bow and arrow. Atreus is an amazing character with an amazing story, and even when you play as him, you're given a different flavor of the story. You're getting things from a different perspective, not only via combat but via story and how he traverses the world and how he does things. So at this point in time in the Father Simulator, not only are you taking on the role of the father, but now they're kind of showing you the perspective of the son and how he goes through things and how he'll move through life, because at some point he is going to have to move on his own, which is a big part of this game, and we're going to get to that later. This game has an open world aesthetic to it, so it is open world. There are moments where you're only going to be able to do point A to point B because you need a tool or something like that to get to point C, D, E, and F. For the most part, the game is on the open world side. You can just go out and explore, look for things. There are many different passageways, many different mysteries, and many different things to find. And one of the great things is Mimir is utilized as a tool to talk to you through these things. Mimir is there to let you know about what's going on, to give you history, to give you a lot of things. And this works amazingly because in a lot of games, when you hit these cutscenes, you might have to have a 5-minute cutscene kind of explaining history and why this action that you took was so important, or why it's so frowned upon, or whatever the case may be. I mean, a 5-minute cutscene may be necessary to give you all that information so that the issue at hand can be addressed. They utilized Mimir in a very clever way. I loved it in the first God of War, and it's back for this one. And he's still amazing. He's still hilarious. He's still everything that you would want Mimir to be. Wise, giving you all that information and imparting a lot of this information on Atreus. And one of the things that I'll touch on in a little bit, but that you notice through these interactions, is how Kratos now trusts certain people with Atreus. Before, he was a little cagey about him in that first one, didn't really want certain people around him, really didn't want anyone but himself around him. But now you see him opening up, becoming a little softer, and these people are kind of like his uncles in Sindri, Brock, and Mimir. So you see kind of Kratos kind of loosening those reins on Atreus, and these are like his uncles, and he talks to his uncles, and all is well. It's a really amazing thing to just kind of see unfold naturally within the game like this, and it's infectious as it kind of hits you as the player, as thinking about when you talk to your family members or things of that nature. And the last thing I wanted to touch on gameplay wise are the boss battles. The boss battles are excellent. They are masterfully done. They are big. They are intense. Some of them are very tough, and they require you to use certain mechanics. Some of these mechanics are given to you in the boss battle. Some of them are given to you before the boss battle, allowing you to kind of utilize them, and then you'll implement those in said boss battle. Boss battle is just great. They're so good. That Thor boss battle, my God, it brings like just a level of a smile to your face as a player. Like, let's do this. Come on. Like, let's just go. The Thor boss battle reminds me of the Baldur boss battle from the first God of War, in terms of like, yo, if you want to do this, let's do this. Let's go. And just the reins are taken off, and it's amazing. I truly believe that everyone who plays this game will enjoy the boss battles one way or another, for all that they entail. How each one isn't exactly the same as you would approach the other. Some are very much just trial by combat, whereas others require you to be a little more clever, and others have a certain mechanic there. You just need to be eagle-eyed and kind of spot out what it is that you need to do. However, your support characters who are there normally do a pretty good job on helping you out if the game is noticing that you haven't picked up on that mechanic quite yet. And I guess now we'll get into the big thing for me, and that is the story. This is where I feel that gamers are going to either you're either going to love it, or B, you're not going to love it, because the story is dense and it's heavy. At its core, it's about this father-son bond. However, Ragnarok is upon them. So there's this kind of big issue that exists that's overshadowing. But at the heart of this game, it's about this father-son bond. This dad who has been through his life and done his things, and he's trying to shield his son from certain things. He knows life is cruel, so he wants to raise him up to be strong, but at the same time, he's the shield. As a parent, and if you're a parent playing this game, I think a lot of these tropes will resonate with you in such a way that, you just become attached to the character of Kratos. But now that we're introduced to Atreus, you're given a whole other perspective of the child. And you might start to remember, oh, I remember my parent did this or that, and how I felt about it when you are witnessing the trials of Atreus. It's a really great tandem between both. You see the darkness in Kratos and whatnot, and actually, in a lot of ways, you actually see Kratos has grown as a person. Kratos is a lot more open than he once was. He's more vocal about things, and I think that might turn some people off. You want Kratos to be this kind of hardened individual, this feelingless, emotionless savage of a beast, but now he's a dad and he's trying to do things the right way. And if history recalls correctly, for those who played the original set of God of War games, you knew he was a dad before and it didn't go so well for him. This plays in heavily into the psyche of Kratos, and it's, again, dense. It's a heavy story. This isn't a feel good, let's go kill the pantheon of gods thing. This story is about real problems and hurt people things, and it's really deep. Now, I think you could play this game and kind of tune it out if you have that ability to, just to tune all that information out and not care about like what's being said and what's happening. But the voice actors are too good. The voice actors are so good. I believe that this game like should get considered to be nominated for an Emmy or something to that effect, because these voice actors kill. They deliver their performances really well. So much so, I don't even know how the live action edition of this is going to stand up against this. They're just too good. Christopher Judge is too good. The guy who plays Freyr, too good. Everyone. Through all of this, the feeling is conveyed to you, and it's too infectious to me. So have a good time trying to tune out this information. But if you don't really like stuff like that, heavy stuff, people talking about feelings and whatnot, this may not be a game for you, as that's kind of a big focal point here is sorting out unresolved feelings and just doing what needs to be done, because this big event known as Ragnarok is upon us. Who will go? Who will stay? We don't know. So how do I spend these moments with my son right now? Do I train him up to give him the highest chance of survival, as was done unto me? Or, do I want to spend these last moments doing things that he likes? How do I find this balance? And you see this character development in Kratos, this growth in Kratos, or it may not even be growth. It might just be that we were never exposed to this side of Kratos, and now you're just catching a different side of him. All in all, man, this game is amazing. It's thought-provoking. It's emotion-provoking. I'm not saying you're going to cry, but it is something that will cause thoughts in your mind to go, and it will cause, pull on your heartstrings a little bit and get you thinking about things, get you thinking about perspective. So I say all that to say, is this God of War better than its predecessor? I do believe so. It was built on the bones of its predecessor, so more fleshed out. I mean, with that formula, now that you have it down, you can add in more combos. You can add in where you can buff your skills through the skill tree. You can add in more armor sets. You saw what armor sets worked and what didn't work in the first one, so now you can add in new armor sets and more appealing armor sets and things of that nature. You still had your super bosses that you can fight. Everything about this game just took all the elements of the first one and enhanced upon that. So yes, it is better. The story is where, again, I feel like, depending on you as a person, again, if you're not really here for that type of time, well then yeah, you might not really enjoy the game, even with all this brutal gore and all that come with it. You might not just want to care for that type of thing. Ultimately, I think it's a really, really good, thought-provoking story, and I cannot wait to see where they go next with this. Again, if Atreus is meant to become kind of the focal point from here on, or just like kind of what comes next, I am really happy with the way that they're doing this, kind of giving you that slow drip of Atreus gameplay, letting you kind of get accustomed to Atreus and whatnot before he's handed the reins. But for all my eagle-eyed people who are really into Norse mythology, or who are really into all mythologies, as we knew from the first one, that the Greek pantheon was already taken out were on the Norse. Egypt and Japan were teased to kind of be the next two. So for those eagle-eyed who saw certain things, please feel free to post in the comments. His comments will be chock full of spoilers. So please stay away from that. Not really trying to hear no spoilers, all right? But that's going to do it for this one, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in. I had a ball with this game. Go check it out. Go try it out. It's an amazing game. 23 hours sank into this game, and I'm not done with it yet. Just an amazing experience. Go check it out, guys. Please, please go check out God of War and just hit me up in the comments and let me know how you feel about it. But that's going to do it for this one. And as usual, peace, be easy, be blessed.